Hello guys, welcome to Latman Farms. In today's episode, we are going to share with you how much it will cost you to set up 1,000 fingerlings pond and the expected profit. So before you set up your fish pond, there are lots of things that you need to consider. And the first thing and the most important thing that every farmer needs to make time for is to plan for their farm. You know, failing to plan is planning to fail. So if you want to plan, the first thing you like to look out for is your space or your land. Now, this kind of land, we are looking for a space that is accessible. We mean that you can take raw materials to the land and then also have customers coming into the land. The next thing you like to consider with respect to the land is security. You want to make sure that whatever thing you are going to have in your farm is going to be safe. Also, you like to make sure that your land is flood proof. This is because there have been some farms that have been affected by serious flood. The next thing to consider is your water situation. So you want to make sure that there's water accessibility to the land, and then also, so if it is from pipe borne, you want to make sure that there's a connection already to the place. And then also, if it is from the boreholes, you want to make sure that the location, the water in there is not salty. And then even if it is salty, it could be treated for the intended purpose of your farm. Also, you like to take into account the amount of water you'll be using for the entire production cycle, and then you plan ahead of your system. So after this, you like to now consider what kind of pond you want to set up in your farm. Now we know that we have the earthen pond, the plastic pond, the concrete pond, and then the tarpaulin pond. For the purpose of this calculation, we are going to maintain the tarpaulin pond. Now this tarpaulin pond is made out of high density polyethylene materials or HDPE materials, which lasts long. So most of the time you're looking at tarpaulins that can last for more than 10 years to 15 years. So this tarpaulin can contain 11,000 liters of water, and it costs around 1,500 Ghana cedis for one. Also, it comes with some metal works, and the metal works costs around 2,000 Ghana cedis. The next thing we like to look out for is the plumbing. And with the plumbing works, there are two different things you are looking at over here. Either you are using the pipes or you are using your water hose. If you are using the water hose, it will serve as your inlet, but then you need to do some plumbing for the outlet into a drainage system. But if you are using a full plumbing setup, we can use the pipes from your reservoir as inlet into your tank, and then also there are pipes as outlets. And so normally we budget around like 200 Ghana cedis for the plumbing works and the workmanship of the plumber. The next thing we are going to look out for is your fingerlings. How many fingerlings are you going to keep in this setup? And these fingerlings, we are looking at 1,000 fingerlings in this particular tarpaulin setup, from start to finish, which is in 6 months period. It could be shorter depending on the kind of fingerlings you go in for. Now the fingerlings, you're looking for 1,000 pieces, and normally it costs around 1 cedi 50 pesos and then 2 cedis. Probably as a result of inflation, it could rise from 1 cedi 50 pesos to 2 cedis. So you can budget for like 2 cedis for it. So 2 cedis times 1,000, we are looking at 2,000 pieces of fingerlings. The next thing we'd like to talk about is the feed. Since we are using a conversion ratio of 1 kg of weight is to 1 kg of feed, it means that you're going to feed each fish 1 kg of feed. So for 1,000 fishes, you're looking at 1,000 kg for feed. The next thing you like to look out for is your water. If you have a borehole, then you are not necessarily going to be bothered by this. But for those of us who used to buy water, we use the pipe-borne water, we need to be able to calculate this and to be able to know the amount of water you would use. In this tarpaulin setup, you'll be using a maximum of 8,000 liters of water for the entire production cycle. So with this 8,000 liters of water, you are going to have all your fishes in there. So to be able to know how much it's going to cost you for your water, what you do is you call your water supply company, if it is the Ghana Water Company, and ask them again, how much do they charge you per 1,000 liters of water? For this calculation, they charge us around 560 pesos per every 1,000 liters of water. So if you are using 8,000 liters of water, you are going to multiply 5.6 by 8, which is going to give you 44.5 Ghana cedis. Now this 44.5 Ghana cedis is the cost you are going to incur per every change of water you do. This is because you are not going to run a recirculatory system. What you have to understand is this: the production cycle is going to last for 180 days. So if you are going to be changing water at least every 2 days, then what you do is the 180 divided by 2, that is 90 days, which means that you are going to be changing water in your system 90 times. So to be able to know how much you are going to incur for the entire production cycle, what you do is you multiply 44.8 by 90 times, and it's going to give you 4,032 Ghana cedis. Now there's a quick tip here for you to take note of. That is, during the initial stages of your production, you would not need exactly 8,000 liters of water. You probably need around 4,000 liters of water for the first month, the second month, and as the fishes grow, you increase the quantity. So most of the time, what I tell people is this: you divide 4,032 by 2, and that is going to give you 2,016. The next thing you like to look out for is your cost of transportation. So transportation in relation to purchase of feed and acquisition of fingerlings to your setup. Most of the time, I let people budget around 100 cedis because of where you would like to pick out from. I encourage people to pick their fingerlings from a nearby farmer in order to cut down the cost. So the total cost we are looking at is 14,566. That's how much it's going to cost you to be able to run a complete setup. Now we are going to factor in 20% mortality rate. This is because you're a new farmer, but then when it comes to me, I factor around no more than 10% in terms of mortality. So with 20% mortality ratio, we are saying that you have 800 of your fishes getting up to the 1 kg, and we are going to base our calculations on these 800 fishes. So if you want to sell your fishes fresh in Ghana, most of the time I tell people sell around 20 Ghana cedis per kg. So it means that for your 800 fishes, you are multiplying the amount by 20 Ghana cedis, and that's going to give you 16,000 Ghana cedis at the end of the 6-month period. This is just fresh fish being sold out from your system. Now, at the end of the day, to be able to know how much profit you're going to make if you choose to sell fresh, then you're going to subtract 16,000 from 14,566 Ghana cedis, which is going to give you 1,434. So as a business owner, you are always looking for other ways of improving upon your products, and for that matter, you would like to add some value to your fishes. And so with that, what we do is we decide to smoke the fishes. So for the same 800 pieces of fishes at 1 kg, you want to smoke them, and I'm going to take you through the smoking processes. There'll be videos that will share with you how you are going to smoke, so that you are going to be able to get the desired moisture content, I think around 10%, and then you can sell them. So there'll be videos to show you how the smoking is being done. So personally, I sell my smoked fish around 30 cedis or 35 cedis because of where I am and the kind of marketing I am doing. Maybe with you, you can't do that, and so you are looking at a figure around 25 Ghana cedis per fish. So what you are doing at the end of the day is you are going to sell each fish for 25 cedis. So you have 800 pieces of fishes times the 25 Ghana cedis, which at the end of the production cycle is going to get you 5,434 Ghana cedis. And this value addition is very, very important for us. So you would not want to, most of the time, be selling your fishes fresh. And this is per a pond. This is per pond. Now, when it comes to the smoking, at my place, we take around 3 to 4 days to smoke fishes. And with the system we have, we can smoke around 400 to 700 pieces of fishes, depending on the size. So depending on the market and your deadline, you could probably be able to look at that and factor that into your processing facility. So a lot of us have realized a trend currently in Ghana. And from this trend, we can see that there are lots of catfish grills coming up in this country. And so if you choose to grow your fishes as well, you can make some good money at this particular point. So the question is this: with the 800 fishes, if you want to grow them, how much money can you make? Some of you work with restaurants, and some of you can also set up your own grills and sell the fishes as well. So if you are operating a grill, normally a grilled catfish is sold around 50 Ghana cedis with either chips or with some balls of banku. Now I say that, let's say your cost of other raw materials, that is the pepper and the garnishing and other things, could probably be around 15 cedis per fish. And so we are looking at just 35 cedis as a result of the value addition in terms of grilling your fishes. Now, if you are grilling your fishes, then it means that probably you are making around 35 Ghana cedis per fish because you take out the other raw materials cost. And so you have 35 cedis, you multiply that by the 800 fishes that you have, and at the end of the day, you are going to have 28,000 Ghana cedis. If you subtract your cost of production of 14,000, at the end of the day, you would have 13,434 Ghana cedis as your profit per pond. So what I like to tell people is this, that the end product will tell the kind of marketing that you are going to do. And there are a few differences amongst the various markets, because the fresh fish market, the demands are different from the smoked fish market and the grilled fish market. Normally with the grilled fish market, people want fishes to look very, very huge and very, very big. Whereas with the smoked market, people are looking at fishes being a little bit smaller. So you could have some people who would tell you that they want fishes around 500 grams, 600 grams, 700 grams, or even less than a kg because they want you to smoke them. And then the grilled market, some will say they would want the fishes to be about a kg and then 1.5. And all of these things also communicate how much money is on the table for you to make. So how do I sell these fishes? Now, if you are smoking your fishes, what you're going to look out for is you're going to look out for the restaurants, you're going to look out for eateries, and as I said earlier, some of you can set up your own eateries and stuff like that. Also, there are the malls, there are the supermarkets that also look out for some of these fishes, so you can also look out for them. And then there are individuals in your community who probably do purchase from the market, which is quite far away from them, or they buy from other places, which you could also look out for them. There are some of these restaurants that use catfishes as part of their meals, and so you look out for those ones first in order to save some cost on marketing. So when it comes to being able to sell your fishes, it's not too much of a problem. I'll bring out other episodes to share with you how intensive the marketing could be or should be, so that you will be able to benefit from this. So that's why we say that please do like, share, and subscribe. And by doing this, YouTube will also promote our content to other people who would also be needing this kind of information. Also, there's a network of farmers, as I've always been saying, that is interdependent on each other, and so you can benefit from that. Also, for those of you watching us and you like to smoke your fishes and you need some certification and all of that, we would, as I was saying, we'll bring you information to know exactly the processes involved in getting your product certified, so that you can work with any of the markets you are looking at, even including the international market, which has also shown promising signs. So that's it on today's episode on Latman Farms. See you on our next episode. Bye.